Well, welcome to the wonderful world of Stirling engines. So let's try and explain how a Stirling engine works. So here is my Stirling engine. It's made from 4 cans. Let's just take the main can. Let's do it like this. It's got a top part and it's got a bottom part. Now, I don't know if one can see that. Let's do it in yellow. So you've got a cold side of the can, you've got a hot side of the can. We put a flame underneath here, and that heats it up. So this was a baked bean can. Baked beans can. And then I had a smaller little can that I put inside there. And that small little can I wrapped with steel wool, and I had a wire going up to a crank. So this moved up and down. The crank pulled this up and down, and I put a balloon over the top. Let's just see if we can find any other color. Okay, so there's the balloon over the top, and then we had a tiny little hole in the balloon for this wire to go through. So as this gets pulled up, all the air gets moved down, and then it gets heated. And when it gets heated, this balloon begins to bulge upwards like this. And then this moves up and down. So when this now moves down to the bottom, all the air that was hot here moves to the top where it gets cooled. So to help it cool, we put a piece of cloth around here, and so we just keep this cold. So we have a piece of cloth around here that is wet. So the air, when it gets moved to the top, cools, and then our balloon bulges down like this. So the air being moved by this displacer piston up and down, when the air gets moved to the top, it cools and the balloon goes down. And when this gets moved to the top, the air gets hot and the balloon goes up. So you could say the balloon kind of follows the displacer piston. This was just another small can, and I wrapped it in steel wool. And this is our displacer. It displaces the air. Then, I guess quite important to this was I had a small little tin glued to, this small little tin, thin aluminium tin, was glued to the balloon with super glue. And so this also moved up and down, and you could say that this was our power piston connecting rod. And then this had a crank that went like this, and then there was another piece of the crank, then it had some more crank like this, and there, this power piston connecting rod, which was just another thin aluminium can, moves up and down. It turns this crank. Then we had a flywheel, and the flywheel turns and just keeps the momentum, just keeps everything going. So this piece of which is the displacer connecting rod, just connects to the top there, goes all the way through, and I've just glued it to this can here. So this piece of the crank moves the displacer up and down, and this can here has got, as the can moves up and down, it's got a little hole in the side of the can that moves these the crank around. And so the pushing of the balloon up and down turns the flywheel, and the flywheel turning moves the displacer up and down. And I'll show you on from Wikipedia how this whole system works, just a quick little clip. And you will see how it works from Wikipedia the same way as I've described. So you've got your flywheel, your crank, your displacer, connecting rod, your displacer. This is your power piston, which was just a can. So here, there was my 1 can, 2 cans, 3 cans. And then for my 4th can, I just had a bigger can. This was a jam can like this. And this jam can had a hole in it there and a hole in it there. And that was my last can, and that just held and supported everything. So if you want to see it, there was the thin little can in the middle. There is you can see there's the crank. Here is our flywheel with a few weights. And here was a sanding disc just to give it a bit more weight. You will see that this moves up and down. There's our, you'll see that moves up and down, which is our power piston connecting rod. And the crank moves it up and down. And you will see that the crank's got a little wire attached to it at the top there. That's the wire that moves the displacer up and down. Here's our bit of cold, it's just a bit of paper towel. And let's just stoke this up and see. So let's just stoke it up and see if we can